Hey everybody, Bill in Virginia. Welcome back. So I have continued where I left off by adding a little bit more sculpt mold up here near where I have the switch that goes into, it's going to be the start of a logging camp. So I've got the sculpt mold placed, just did that. I will come back in, probably not add any plaster in this area. I'm not going to be carving rocks. The rough texture is fine. It's all going to be covered up by trees and shrubs and brush, but making some headway. What I've also done is I've put a few more trees on than last time. Even in O scale with larger trees, what you see right here in this camera frame is 30 trees. It doesn't go very far. I was really kind of surprised when I counted them off. And I've still got to add a lot more smaller trees and fill in gaps over here. Just this one little area. I'm probably going to get close to, honestly, probably between this little spot and then that little spot, I bet I end up with 50 trees in just this one little area here. But that's the way it is. What I've got is a bunch more of the trees that I've taken down. I've still got a pile of them up there. These are what I'm calling my rework trees. And what I'm meaning by that is I'm going to come back in with a pair of scissors. I'm going to trim them up a bit more than what I have. Kind of get rid of some of the rounded edges, nip them a little bit more. And then I'm going to use the short 2mm static grass. And I'm going to apply it to these. I'll spray them down with cheap hairspray, sprinkle the static grass on them. That'll give me a nice effect. And after they're cut, they'll look a lot better than what they are. And then I'll be able to plant those over here as well. A lot of those up there are also going to be reworked. I practiced on techniques and I found different ways to make them look better. And I'm going to do that before I put them on the layout, but that'll all come. So what I'm going to do next is after the sculpt mold dries, I'll paint it. I've got my materials down for ground cover. So I will work and basically, I'll not finish, but I'll get a lot farther on this scene right in here and then see what else I can do. But more to come. Well, it is Wednesday night. I've had a couple of long days at work with some meetings, so I haven't done a whole lot on the layout. Did this Tuesday night. Tonight I have been out and I have reworked my rework trees that I had sitting out here. So I've come back in, and it's a little bit hard to see, but I have taken my florist shears and cut the bejeebies out of them so that I make the branches actually stand out and separate and look more like branches on pine trees. This is furnace filter material, torn into segments, sort of rounded and then put on. These I did not shape very well initially, so I'll go back in, trim them up. Now what I'm going to do, probably tomorrow, because it's late on Wednesday night, is I will soak them down with some hairspray and then do some static grass on them. And then I'll start to plant them in some areas. Only other thing that I've got going on tonight is I have glued down this siding. I kind of figured that what I was attempting to do originally on here was just probably not going to work. I'm rethinking a little bit on this area where this might just be sort of a small engine and car service area. Just so that I can have my engines in here. I've got a few things that I can put on here to make it look kind of cool. So I glued the track down and I'm going to be good with that. Another thing that I thought of, and I'm not going to do it anytime soon, is in HO scale, I have a Shay and I've got a variety of older equipment. And you know what, just for some fun on video at some point in time, I will run it on the ON30. Since it's HO scale track, I can run HO scale trains on the upper area here just for some video opportunities and just to have some fun taking some pictures. I won't show the ties because the tie spacing is different. And you can kind of tell it's not HO if you're looking directly at that, but you know what? I'll have some fun with it. Anyway, let's see what else I can get into here. Well, Thursday evening, and my rework trees have been reworked. And there they are. So all of the trees that I had on that flat are now in this area. What I did, like I said I came back in with the short static grass, added those to them. Not a lot, just a good dusting on most of them so that it just kind of gives it a little bit more texture at the very ends. So I think that looks okay. Makes it look like a nice dark forest, which is what I'm after. So what I will do is I'm not going to put any more trees in. I'm going to let everything cure and dry in this area. I just painted it tonight, and the Sculpting mold is still pretty wet. It's been kind of damp here in Richmond. So I'm going to let everything set, and then I will come back in and I'll take out about the first 3 or 4 trees deep so that I can get access to the back. And then I can put in the rest of my details in the back and ground cover. I can kind of flood it with dilute white glue to stick everything down, and I'll get it put in. Same over here. I'll take a few trees out to kind of get me back, or just these so that I can get to the back. But that's as far as I'm going to go for trees for right now. I will do more ground cover and more items here a little later. But I think I'm up to about 45 trees. So this is going to work really well. Camouflaging the terrain as it comes through. You have to stand right about here to even see the portal. And I will add some more trees in the very back and some other ways to camouflage that. I did have a deciduous tree, this one right there in the very back that kind of hid the portal. But unfortunately, it also hit on the cars and the engine when it went through. I had it too close. I'm going to rework that a little bit when I do more in that back area, and I'll probably put that tree back in there. I just got to find a little bit better spot for it, and so it's out of the way. But I like this. This is going to work out pretty well. It's going to be fun to watch trains come in and out of this sucker. Like the DCC, nice and slow and smooth operation. All right, I think this is going to call it for a Thursday night. Let's see what other mischief I can get into here. We are back to Friday night. Work is done. Been out in the garage for just a little bit, and I do have my deciduous tree positioned again back near the portal, and I've pulled a few trees out just so that I can get back there to work. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing ground cover and smaller trees and vegetation. I've got a pile of scenic materials out, as well as sparkling water for a carbonated beverage to enjoy. And what I'm going to be starting is in the back and then work my way forward on this part here, see what I can get done. I also have some good natural scenic materials, dirt from the garden. Got a little space heater out here. It's actually kind of cold in Richmond this Friday evening, and looking to get some rain and maybe snow tomorrow. But I'm going to have the heater going while I'm out in the garage just to kind of dry that dirt out. It's just only moderately damp. Then I'll run it through a couple of sieves that I've got just to kind of grade it a little bit. I like variation. Some of that might actually become the ground cover around the tracks. I got to see how it's going to work out once it's dry, but I'm going to get started here and see what I can get done tonight and over the next couple of days. Just working out here off and on. So more coming. So I'm about ready to go in and just relax, but I've got basic ground cover on in this area. I am going to plant some grass, some taller weeds in a few areas, especially in and amongst the rock right here. And probably call that an evening, but I'm liking how it's looking. I will then start over on this side and get it done. And once I'm past this area, I will actually do ground cover pretty much all the way. And then when I drill holes for trees, I can come back in and I can do patchwork. This, I just wanted to make sure I got everything in so that I had that nice, deep, dark looking forest going back. So I wanted to kind of do the scenery around the trees in this area. This is just kind of the important part. So is this on the back. So I'm happy with how that's turning out. I do have some sticks and twigs and other stuff I'm going to kind of grind up a little bit and put on here a little bit later. But right now, time for me to go in and eat. Well, Friday evening comes to a close. And I have got ground cover put in this area here. And over there, I've still got to do the track, the dirt on the track, but that's looking okay. And this area over here, I will get the next time I actually take the modules apart so that I can stand there and do the modeling. But I'll do that later. And then this little white area here is actually how the light is reflecting on that piece. It's not actually that color, but I might just put a little acrylic paint on it to kind of kill that little white sheen. But there we go. I'll run some trains on it tomorrow as I continue to work my way to the left and see what else I can do on this. But it's looking pretty good. I'm happy with the results so far. So it is now late Saturday afternoon. It snowed in Richmond today. It's March 12th. And I'm tired of snow. I like it to be a little warmer. I picked up about an inch at my house. The ground's covered. Early spring flowers are buried. I'm ready for the weather to change. But anyway. Well, later Saturday afternoon, and I am kind of at a stopping point because I have run out of glue. So I don't think I'm going to be doing a whole lot more for at least a while. I'll run and get some. Picked up some snow here in Richmond today. You know, it's mid-March and got about an inch at my house. So I'm going to kind of let it melt a little bit off the Jeep before I go to one of the home stores and get some more. But see, I got more done up on this side. I've got sort of the brush line put in behind the trees. You can kind of see it down in here where it darkens up as we get to the backdrop. Everything is glued onto the hills and nothing's glued onto the backdrop. So if I need to move the backdrop, I can. Put in debris along the cliff face, same thing over here. Added variety of odds and ends. And what's nice about using garden dirt that's been dried out thoroughly is there's all kinds of little rootlets and other things in it that make good debris that just can go on to the layout and give it a nice look. So I got more done over here, kind of hard to see, but I added rock fall along that crevasse. This is the only area right now that I have to do that's up next to the backdrop. And I've run out of polyfiber, so I need to get a bag of it and a few other things. So I'm going to put in a couple of orders off of eBay or go see if I can find some somewhere today. But that'll come a little bit later. And then over here, I've got this area, in pretty good shape. Not any change from a few segments earlier. Got good debris down, things along, the tracks are clear and clean, can go through. I can reach in to throw the switch. That doesn't bother me any, and so I'm in good shape. Brought some trees down. Most of these are going to go on the other side of the layout. I've got to trim them up and I've got to do some more work, but I did have a few furnace filter trees that was on this, and I've still got a couple of more that I'm going to do, and I will get those placed yet today. Those will kind of go in over here, and you'll see how those look when I get to it. I did add a few more trees in this area as well. So you know what? I think that's going to wrap up this video. So I will see what I can do when I get started again on Sunday. But keep having fun on your layouts. Until next time.